Welcome back. Our breaking news story, Afriforum wants to privately prosecute EFF leader Julius Malema for fraud and corruption. It relates to a case involving a Limpopo government tender worth 52 million rand, which was allegedly unlawfully awarded to On Point Engineering in 2009. eNCA's political reporter, Xoli Mngambi, is at that media briefing. He joins us now live. Xoli, of course, there's some shock and maybe resistance to this decision.
Well, indeed, Shahan, the Afriforum announcing here just moments ago that they are going to be mounting a private prosecution of Julius Malema, but that's provided, Shahan, that the NPA decides not to prosecute Mr. Malema and alongside his co-accused, the two people that were involved in that particular case. But they will then have to wait for the month of August, Shahan, which is when the NPA will decide on whether or not it is going to proceed on this case. They've been told thus far by the NPA that the matter is under consideration, quote unquote. But let's speak now, Shahan, to the CEO of the Afriforum, and that's Mr. Xoli Mngambi, about, I guess, the sentiment I'm just reading here. Mr. Mngambi, looking at social media, I'm also looking at the response itself from Mr. Malema, basically saying, bring it on. Let me ask you about this, about your approach. You're saying that this has to do with equality before the law. Other people will ask the question, are you prepared to pursue those that run, for example, companies like Steinhoff, who have up until thus far have even decided not to go to Parliament to go and answer for these issues? Are you prepared to go people like that?
Yes,
after people like that?
Yes, most definitely. If there is a decision by the NPA not to prosecute, but we know that there is reason for prosecutions and that some political reason led to them not prosecuting, that is when we come in. But what we are unfortunately seeing at the moment is that the people that are not being prosecuted by the NPA are certain people who have strong political connections, and that is where we need to come in. The other cases are prosecuted by the NPA, but we believe in equality before the law. And the fact is, even if your surname is Malema or whoever you are, if there is a strong case against you, as in the case with Mr. Malema, there is a clear evidence that tender corruption was committed, that the company he was involved in got millions of rand that they should not have got into their bank accounts. The question is there corruption? The answer is yes. Is he prosecuted? The answer is no. The question is, should he be prosecuted? The answer is yes. And if he's then, after those questions, not prosecuted, then we will step in. And we do that without asking anybody's permission. We knew that Julius Malema would act in a way that he does. But that's normally how people act if they are in trouble. They might start making these kind of noises. But we hope to see him in court, and we will do our talking in court.
Mr. Mngambi, you see, the argument here is that you are selective in your approach. And, for example, you have World Cup Stadium where companies basically admitted that they had colluded in fixing the tenders that would build the stadium, World Cup Stadium, in the lead up to 2012. Why haven't you taken an active interest there?
Because there was action against them by the Competition Commission. Remember how the law works. You have organizations that have the right, and it's their job to have the first bite of the cherry. That is organizations like the Competition Commission, like the National Prosecuting Authority, and only when they decide not to prosecute, then we can intervene. We cannot go around and identify people. And the problem is at the moment why people see this as selective is because the NPA is selective in who they are prosecuting. If they have prosecuted Julius Malema, or they prosecute him now as they should do, we cannot intervene. If they prosecute Duduzane Zuma, as they should do, we cannot intervene. If they prosecute a number of other people, the Guptas and so forth, we cannot intervene. So the cases that we take on are decided by the NPA, and the problem is because some people are not prosecuted because of their political connections, those are the cases we can get involved in.
The other side of the argument, Mr. Creel, is that you're obviously targeting these cases that have high-profile names on them, also to try and get yourselves out there. For example, had you not said in your media advisory leading us to this press conference that you held today that there's going to be a senior leader or a leader of a political party that is going to be privately prosecuted, I'm not sure you would have had the same media interest. Is this part of your game? Is this some kind of gimmick as well to try and get you to be relevant, that you will go after these individuals who are high profile, who have high profile names, perhaps neglecting cases such as, the people who have died, for example, as a result of listeriosis linked, or should we say allegedly linked, to the company Tiger Brands?
We don't have to make ourselves relevant. The fact is we have 208,000 members, which makes us relevant already. The fact is corruption, the plundering of state coffers is something that's in the public interest. It's not only in Afriforum's members' interest. If you're going to steal taxpayers' money, the people that are affected the most would be poor people. So to say, well, Julius Malema should not be prosecuted simply because we don't want Afriforum to be seen as selective is not something that we think of. We are acting in the interests of everybody in this country through cases like this. And as I've said, we don't select our cases. The NPA selects it for us. And the fact that they don't prosecute people in high positions, with the exception, and we're happy about that, of former President Zuma and as well as the Guptas, then we are going to do that.
But you are happy as well to take up the cudgels if indeed you take an active interest in a particular case such as the Julius Malema one. You're saying the NPA appears to be taking a back seat. My question to you then, if you are genuinely interested in ensuring that the prosecution of those who are involved in looting of state coffers, but more importantly, yours is to fight for the poor majority. Have you at any stage decided that you are going to take up the cudgels on the listeriosis case, for example? Is there a single individual there? Because we understand that lots of people have died as a result of this, and there is a particular company involved here. Are you taking an active interest there? Because those are poor people who are affected there.
Let me give you a number of examples. We are at the moment acting on behalf of poor people in the Nkandla community to force the KwaZulu-Natal government to build them the school. That is in court process at the moment. Our sister organization helped victims of the Life Esidimeni tragedy and represented them at the investigation, and those people got compensation. So there are numerous examples of what we have taken on to assist poor people. We've also represented the Walmanstal Communal Property Association. With regard to the specific example, of course, we cannot take on everything, but we know that there are big legal firms that have taken that on already. And for us now to jump on a bandwagon, if organizations such as Poor and Fisher have said that they are taking it on, would simply be not right for us. We want to take on those issues that nobody else takes on. And we, our record shows that we've also served the interests of the majority of people in the country, but we are not ashamed of the fact that we also take on issues that are of concern to minorities.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Xoli Creel, the CEO of Afriforum, there, Shahan, speaking to us. Well, that's where we're going to leave it for the moment. It's back to you.